All right, ladies and gentlemen, how the hell are you? I am your stoner with the toner, Chronic Chris from AsgardRadio.com, where the gods go to rock. And tonight we are talking to Tripp Taylor from Last of Our Kind. They're playing the Incarceration Festival this summer. In when is that? September?
It's in
Yeah,
July.
or July. Yeah, I don't have it pulled up in front of me. I don't remember all the dates, but I know you are playing on Sunday with Slipknot, Megadeth, whole slew of other. I'm thinking you're already pretty stoked for that, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely stoked.
Now, I know I just asked you. I forgot to hit record. How did you end up on the bill for incarceration? Do you have to go through the Space Zebra auditions, or?
No, actually, I have a friend named Adam that he does stage production for festivals like that. I'm not sure, like what company he works for or whatever, but he's been a long time friend, and he said he would put a word in for me and the band and try to get us on, some kind of festival. And I guess he did into. I guess they liked what they saw and what they heard, and somehow we ended up on it. It's still kind of like super surreal for me. I was not even really believing it because we didn't even see the flyer until about an hour before it was announced. And I didn't even believe it until it was officially announced and I saw our name on there.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. So, and you're from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, so you're kind of stop on the way home on the way, right?
Yeah, hopefully. It's hard, living in Southern California now. It's hard for me to go back and visit Tennessee.
Right, I understand that, and it's funny because a lot of the people I talk to are actually musicians that moved from California to Nashville for the rock scene in Nashville. You kind of went in the
Yeah, yeah,
opposite direction there.
yeah. I did. Yeah.
So how did you end up out in California then?
Uh, I'm 24 now, and I moved here when I was 18. You know, like long story short, I just I had like a rough childhood and just made a lot of really bad decisions and burned a lot of bridges and just needed to get away and
Okay.
just kind of ended up here by chance, I guess. Um, I just needed to go anywhere that was not around Tennessee.
Right on, that's understandable.
Yeah,
I'm originally from Iowa, somehow ended up in Kentucky.
nice.
So now, how did you hook up with Last of Our Kind? Is that your band you started, or?
It was started by the other three members, Danny, Elias, and Adrian. Danny, the guitarist, had made a post on Facebook. Somehow we were friends. I didn't even know the guy, but we were friends. And he was saying he was in the Southern California area and was in a band that, was starting up and needed a vocalist. And I didn't even really reach out to him. I just kind of liked his post, and he reached out to me. And like asked what I was about, and I sent him a cover of a song that I did, Unanswered by Suicide Silence, and I guess he really liked it because I pretty much joined immediately.
Right on.
And that was like right around when COVID started, like early 2020.
And now all these vocals, the screams and the growls, that's all you?
Yeah,
That's a quite impressive range there. Uh, how,
appreciate it.
how, how did you get into doing vocals?
Uh, well, originally, I listened to a lot of like post-hardcore and metalcore and stuff with like not a lot of extreme vocals, but some of it. And I always wanted to be in a band. I always wanted to write music. I always wanted to play music, and I think I just started singing along with the music when I was really, really young, like elementary school, like 7, 8 years old, and I was just never like a great singer. And as I got older, and I guess you could call it angst grew with me as I aged. I was listening to more and more extreme music with more and more extreme vocals, and just kind of did the same thing and tried to, mimic the sounds that the vocalists were doing. And, the further that I delved and the more extreme vocals that I discovered, I was astonished by, a human being able to make some of the noises that I was hearing, especially being such a young kid.
Right.
And I really wanted to just know how to do it. And, it's just a lot of really long nights of agony for my parents, probably, of just sounding awful until I didn't.
Right. Now, who's your musical influences?
Definitely Mitch Lucker. It's kind of like, being in a deathcore band and, citing Mitch Lucker is kind of like, a little cliche at this point, but I never met Mitch personally. I never even got to see Suicide Silence when Mitch was still alive, but something about him and just his energy vocally, and the way that he sounded and the way that those early Suicide Silence albums sounded, and just kind of finding him at the right time. Um, it was like when I heard Mitch, when I was really like, I want to do what this guy's doing. I want to figure out how to sound like this. How does this guy sound like this?
Okay. If there's one album you could not live without, what album? If you were on a desert island with only one album to listen to, what album would you want to listen to?
Oh man, that's really hard for me. Um,
Or what's the one album you can't live without?
hmm, Probably All's Well That Ends Well by Chiodos. It was uh it was the first record that my brother showed me when I was like 7 or 8 years old. And so it just kind of holds a special place in my heart, so to speak.
Right on. Now, if there was anyone in history you could sit down with for dinner and pick their brain over dinner, who would you want to talk to?
Oh man, that's a good question.
I like to make people think sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know. I would say maybe Einstein, just trying to
Okay.
think of like the biggest brain that I can think of, you know. Really like
Okay.
to see the inner workings of a mind so vast like that guy's.
See, my idea for that was Nikola Tesla.
Yeah, something in that realm.
Yeah, I mean, they're both freaking geniuses.
Yeah, I've got a huge fascination for stuff that I don't understand, like astrophysics and stuff that involves like extreme math that I can't understand unless I watch like a really simplified YouTube video. But
Okay.
really fascinates me. So I would love to talk to some kind of science guy in that realm.
Right on. See, I like things that I can't understand, but I can at least figure out.
Yeah, stuff that really just like, makes your mind boggle, so to speak.
Right on, right on. Uh, yeah, and our owner, Jim, he's planning on being at incarceration this year, so I'll tell him to look for you. Uh,
Yeah, rad.
he was going to be joining us this evening, but unlike me, he didn't get a nap earlier, so
Oh yeah.
we're a little bit old. We need our naps.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I'm already at my napping age, it seems.
But you also work a day job too. Can I ask what's the day job?
Yeah, I actually work at a doggy daycare. It's like boarding and grooming, and I just kind of like hang out with dogs all day, you
Oh,
know.
that's awesome. Uh,
Um, I worked in drug and alcohol treatment, just as like a technician, not like a therapist or a counselor or anybody with a degree, just like kind of like the guy that hangs out with, the clients. And so I kind of just got super burnt out on that. It's really like emotionally and mentally taxing. So now I just kind of like do the same thing with dogs. It's a lot more chill.
okay. Um, And then now I lost my airplane of thought here. Oh, yeah, I see you got a couple of shows coming up in April. Any ideas on touring? Maybe a little small tour on the way to Ohio?
We were thinking about it, and it's just like, we've never even played out of state. We're going straight across the country to Ohio to play, a huge festival. So we have a lot of details and kinks that we have to work out before then. And, we've never even done, like I said, we never even played out of state. So we've never even really done like a tour that far away.
Well,
So we figured it would just be, a lot more viable to kind of just go there, come back. Looking at flights right now, just to try to the most cost efficient, time efficient way to do it.
right. Well, I mean, if you do decide to make a little tour and stop at some venues and drive out to Ohio, we can help you out a little bit along the way. If you go to asgardradio.com, we got Asgard Connect, and it's a list of people. We do background checks, and they're all background checked and vetted. Make sure we're not sending you with Joe Creepy or Sarah Superfan, but it's people
Yeah.
that'll let a band come, have a place to stay for the night, a home cooked meal, take a shower, do some laundry, so you ain't got to fork out for a hotel, restaurant, laundromat, all the comforts of home while on the road. Our little rock star bed and breakfast.
That sounds super rad.
So, I mean, if you do got plans for a tour or anything, that's one way we can help you guys out.
Nice. We actually do have a little. It's local to California, but it's still like a little mini tour that we're announcing tomorrow, actually.
Okay, yeah, because I see you got a show this Saturday. Just had it all pulled up in front of me. Yeah, this Saturday in Anaheim.
Yep.
And
With
then
Bleeding Through.
yep. Bleeding Through and Thrown into Exile. I can read metal. And Lionheart.
Yeah.
Okay. That looks like it's going to be a hell of a show.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be crazy. It'll probably be. I'm expecting it to probably be our best show yet. We've played a couple. We've opened up a couple of sold out shows at that little venue, Chain Reaction. But this one's probably going to be the best because Bleeding Through, they haven't played that venue in over 10 years, and that's like their hometown venue.
Right.
So it's probably going to be wild.
And looking at this incarceration lineup, I mean, you're playing Sunday with Slipknot, Megadeth, Bush, Flyleaf, Asking Alexandria. You got War, Eva Under Fire, Wage War. I mean, how you feeling about this?
Um, like I said, it's just super surreal to me. I've got really bad imposter syndrome anytime like myself or the band's got anything going on, or especially, when somebody tries to give me like, you know, tries to give me credit for anything. It's just, it's really off-putting. But it's just kind of hard to believe, because most of those bands I haven't even seen. Like I've never even seen Slipknot, not because I don't want to, but you know, seeing Slipknot is, those tickets are pretty pricey, and I don't even really like festivals. There's just like the crowds and like it's just so much and so stimulating. Like I love just like little shows.
See, and
Um,
we were talking a couple weeks ago, and I like festivals, but I'm getting a little older myself, and I like the day festivals. I miss the Oz Fest. Bands come in for one day, you got two stages, easy to get back and forth, and it's just a good time. 4 days, whoo, buddy.
yeah,
But
we're gonna be there all weekend, just hanging out, waiting for Sunday to come. So we'll see how it goes. I don't
right
know.
on. And I grew up in Iowa, and I've had the privilege to see Slipknot when they were still a local band in Des Moines way back in the day, and then I've seen them a few times since.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
I wouldn't mind going to Incarceration, but I'm looking forward to Louder Than Life this year. It's not going to be Slipknot, but Corey Taylor is doing his solo thing there.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the reason I bring them up is, listen to your vocal range. I mean, you got such a wide range, like Corey Taylor, I mean, it's just unbelievable. And how you transition back and forth with no breaks. That's just awesome.
Yeah, it's it's pretty taxing, you know, especially live. Because we've only been playing shows for about a year now, and you know, I did vocals for over a decade growing up, but I never would do it like running around, and you know, I would never do it like for 25, 35 minutes nonstop. You know, making sure that I don't like miss any words. You know, if I'm just like jamming in my room or in my car.
Right.
So the past year of like doing vocals and performing them and recording is like a totally different story. You know, it's definitely a lot different. I had a lot and I still have a lot to learn.
Yeah, and the one thing I'm wondering is like how the way you do your vocals, how does someone do that? I know it's a lot of practice and a lot of training, but just stress on the vocal cords. I mean, I'm afraid I'd try that once and rip them apart.
Yeah, I definitely, did some damage when I was really young and just doing it when I didn't have any technique, I didn't have any understanding. All I had was the emotion, and just trying to like shove all that emotion through my vocal cords hurt pretty bad, So it took me years to learn how to like relax my vocal cords to be able to properly transmit that emotion without just kind of like punching myself in the throat. um and that's still the hardest part, is because a lot of the stuff that I write is super personal and super emotional to me. And especially when it comes to like performing them and becoming like too emotional and too in the moment, and kind of going back to old habits of just letting that emotion consume me so much that my everything starts to kind of get tense, including my throat. And I kind of got to just like catch myself and remember to like stay centered and relax my throat and not let my throat like just get jammed by air, because it'll hurt and it'll suck, especially if we start touring. I definitely can't do that if I am having to perform every night.
Right. Yeah, I would say it's got to be harsh on tour. Go a night, take a day off. You got to relax, right?
Yeah, the more I learn about the realities of tour and just being in a band in general, all the like behind the scenes and I guess like you could say like the business side of it, the more it's just like it's very daunting, but no matter how difficult it becomes, it's still worth it to me. It's just wanting to do it for so long and just not knowing all the details and the realities of it, you know.
Right.
um,
Oh, and then of course you got people throwing stuff you want in your face, but you don't want it from that person.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
A lot of that. But yeah, I was gonna say I'm not sure if we actually have any of your music for Asgard Radio. I am gonna yeah, I'm pretty sure I can get Tormentor and Submerge in Pain. Oh my God. I was listening, like I said, I was listening to Tormentor earlier, and you say it's all emotion, and the lyrics for that, you know, bound by the hand of fate from the womb to the tomb. It's completely understandable.
Yeah,
Something I think a lot of people can relate to. I mean, shit happens in the world.
yeah. I remember being on the bus, and I must have been like 10 or 11 years old, and this like high schooler guy, I don't know what the context was, but he looked at me and he said, uh life sucks and then you die, and just like walked off the bus. And like I just had like a huge like existential crisis, like epiphany, just thinking like, damn, and kind of coming out of that shell that you're in as a kid of like, kind of realizing that there's more outside of the self. And I was so into that feeling of like no one knows how I feel. And there was like a sense of comfort in that, to a degree. Because it's comforting to learn that like, oh no, like these awful things that I feel sometimes, like everybody feels those things, which is comforting. But at the same time, like really depressing, you know, because I know how it feels, and to know that everybody feels that way to some extent at, you know, at some point, you know, is pretty awful to think about. And I can go down a lot of like really just dark rabbit holes mentally if I let myself. You know, it's quite the
Right.
struggle to like stay even keel, you know.
No, I feel you, man. I'm not going to get personal or anything, but it's relatable, man.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and you know, you got a great outlet playing music, dude. And I mean, it's kick ass shit, dude. I'm gonna get it sent over to Jim and tell him he needs to play it tomorrow for new to use day.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man.
That actually right now. Ah, okay. Sweet. All right, yeah, I just bought the Tormentor from Spotify here, so I'm going to send it over to Jim, and we're going to throw it in our rotation.
Nice.
Uh,
I
but
appreciate it.
also, in the meantime, we do look forward to seeing you at Incarceration, or Jim will see you there. Uh, look for the ugly bald guy that has an Asgard T-shirt.
Nice. I'll do my best to find him.
And we appreciate you talking to us tonight, brother. Real quick, plug yourself, man. Where can we find you on social media?
On social media, everywhere, it's just Tripp Taylor with two P's, TrippTaylor_. And the band is Last of Our Kind Band. Um, Anywhere you listen to music, you can search Last of Our Kind, and it'll all be there. You know, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I appreciate the support. Happy to have people actually listen to us. You know.
No, we appreciate the music, man, and you know that's uh, independent artists like yourself going on a big bill like Incarceration. You know that's actually what we try to look for. You know, bands that you don't hear on the radio, you don't know about. Yeah, that's what we're looking for.
That's us.
Uh, oh, I think people are going to know about you guys very, very soon. But
Yeah, sure. So I
yeah,
got
in the meantime, like I said, I appreciate you talking to us. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Chronic Chris from AsgardRadio.com. It's late. I'm a little bit tired. I got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing and hearing a lot more from you guys.
absolutely. You will.
All
I
right. Thanks a
appreciate the
lot.
time.
Hell yeah. Thanks a lot, brother.
Take it easy, man.